Good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever it is, wherever you are, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that we are on to an SMB3 randomizer. This is a best of three between MaCobra and proa007. They'll be going live here in just a moment with the seed that we're going to be racing today. On the commentary booth with me is DLP316. How's it going today?
Hey, good. How are you?
I am doing great, and I am so excited to be here today. This is going to be a sensational matchup. Any guesses, anything like that you want to talk about before we get started?
It's going to be a pretty hype matchup. These two met in the finals last year, and they ended up playing for about 4 hours. So, it's anybody's game at this point.
Absolutely. I think the only thing we could possibly even start to imagine here right now is that it's going to be a nail-biting adventure to the very, very, very bitter end. And I fully expect to see a full three. We've had a bunch of sweeps so far in the tournament, but I'm expecting them to go all three.
Yeah, I would have to agree. We start in World 4, where there's a 50-50 right off the bat. Thankfully, they both chose the same level so that one person doesn't get an early advantage right away. Airship, which is a kind of a precision platform, you can go through it pretty quickly.
Absolutely. And one thing to note here, with this being a randomizer, obviously there's a little bit difference, as you've noticed. We've started on World 4, as DLP has stated. Also, one of the other things to note is that was the Air Force off of Bowser's Castle. Obviously, that is one that you wouldn't usually see in the vanilla game until after you've cleared all the other 7 worlds. But this time we have randomized it, and one of the other things we've done is remove the auto-scroller.
Wow, that's a fast 4. Have a jet seat on our hands.
If not a jet seat, at least a jet world. So far, I mean, it's going to be 2 minutes, and these runners are going to be getting into the second world chat. It's now time to go ahead and get your guesses in as to what the next world is going to be.
Yeah, as far as the runners go, MaCobra has won 3 out of 4 or 5 tournaments. Proa is always in the mix. Was more of a conservative runner, but his routing is second to none, and he doesn't die, so that usually gives him an advantage over people that take more risky strats, and MaCobra usually goes for most of the P-speed strats, so it should be interesting to watch.
And that brings up a very, very good point in that, Proa with his very exceptional routing, because it is exactly that. With Randomizer, the routing is almost more important than the P-speed strats in a lot of ways. But Proa
and we got a Jet 7 here as well.
Yeah, it looked like there was a single fort, but it's on the opposite side of the log, so you will have to go around and actually go through the levels the old-fashioned way.
MaCobra taking a slight advantage using those P-speed strats.
I was looking up a couple of the times on speedrun.com. They have entered both MaCobra and Proa both have a lot of very good times on there. They have 100% time. They're both, I believe, MaCobra was like a 112. Proa was just a minute or two after. I mean, these guys are exceptional. No strangers to the P-speed strats, no strangers to the randomizer. This should be a very, very good game.
Yep, it's going to be a no fort required World 7.
As Paradox has mentioned in chat, that is a very unusual circumstance. Most every world will require a fort in some way, shape, or form, whether it's immediately blocking you from getting to the castle or blocking you from getting to the route to the castle. I mean, it is not unusual, but it is not unheard of.
They got a cloud from the Piranha plant. I know MaCobra had a music box. Did he use it, or did he get the cloud as well? Because that could be an early game factor.
I don't believe MaCobra has used a music box yet, and we'll be able to tell on the first level of the
Stunned.
next world.
Proa has a chance to go for the off-screen wand grab, but you have to really get on your horse to get up there without the P-Wing. It's kind of difficult, but still about 10 seconds separating these guys through 2 worlds in 4 minutes. That's a very fast pace.
To note on that, one of the things we have randomized with this is that the Koopa hits at the end in the vanilla game is always 3, but with the randomizer we've changed it so it's either 1 to 5. It could be anywhere in there. So even if you didn't have the P-Speed wing, it would be very easy if you knew how many hits it was, and the only way that actually works is if it's 5.
And it looks like we got World 3 up next. I like to see this right away because it takes the double hammer factor out of it, and then I don't have to guess, did my opponent get a hammer that I didn't get? Did they double hammer? Am I way behind? So I like to see this early without hammers, personally.
Proa taking a little bit of time there to kind of figure out where he sits in. MaCobra doing the exact same. There are 3 locks visible, so the only question here is the pipe to Wendy hidden? Because if we have a dead end here with the 2 pipes that are directly below where MaCobra and Proa are both playing right now, then they are going to have to go through a couple of interesting obstacles to get through to Wendy. We'll see what happens.
Proa used his cloud on a level that's not super difficult, so that could come back to bite him later, but I know he's type of player that likes to sort of combo his clouds together where he'll if there's a place that he can save his progress, like you use the pipe, there's no danger in using a cloud. I know that's a move that he likes to do a lot, which is often validated.
Absolutely, and Proa able to utilize a cloud not really to an advantage. I have to definitely agree with you. If that was a chance to really get ahead because it was 7-5, or one of the 2 levels that we've left the auto-scroller on with Atlantis, and then 5-9, you know, if it was one of those 3 levels, 6-6, any of those, yeah, definitely a huge save there. And I mean, right now, the only advantage that he currently has over MaCobra is that he's already seen 6F2, whereas MaCobra's going through it. But MaCobra still has that cloud, so either more clouds have to pop up for Proa, or he's going to have to really fight hard to keep that lead.
Yep, doing the nice fly under strat for Proa, it saves a little bit of time that MaCobra did not have a tail. It looks like the path to Wendy is clear. There's 2 locks, and there's only 2 forts left, so we're looking at 8.5, 9 minutes through 3 worlds. That's a crazy pace. When I'm playing, if I'm through 3 worlds in 12 minutes, I consider that about an average pace, so they're definitely flying through these worlds.
Yeah, these guys are good, no doubt. And going back to a couple questions in chat, Zero Wing, it is a brackets set. We are not allowing the runners to break locks with hammers. They can break rocks with hammers, and then they have to build the bridges, of course, with the forts as well, but that's always required. Also, Paradox, it is correct. It was a required fort. The first one, 6F2, was because it was blocking the runners from being able to progress onto the pipe that MaCobra is currently going through. So, great questions.
Proa getting a tail for Wendy, which doesn't lose much time if you have a tail on the World 7 airship as opposed to the P-Speed, because you can flutter over pretty much everything. Looks like Wendy is tough today. And normal weight, which I find harder than the Earthquake, personally. Earthquake, absolutely. You can kind of corral her and, you know, put her where you want to be when she's jumping high. It's MaCobra saving time with the fire kill as well.
That was an unfortunate wall clip there for MaCobra. He lost all his momentum clipping into the last pillar before the pipe. Thankfully, it was at the very end, so not a huge killer, but momentum was definitely shifted there.
hammer suit from the Princess Letter, which if they don't get another one, they'll try to save to the end. That's the fastest way to get through Bowser. It saves about 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, definitely the fastest way to kill Bowser, and that's actually the second hammer suit we've seen. The World 7 Princess Letter actually had a hammer suit as well.
Oh, nice.
Already we're getting some guesses in chat for sub 25s and sub 30s. I mean, if this keeps up, those are both very, very possible. MaCobra doing a great job of holding on to that fire flower. He was able to utilize, and then he lost it. Commentator's curse, my apologies. But he was able to take a kill on Windy with fire, which was exceptional. That's a really hard boss to play, especially when she stays on the map a lot longer. That means that she is going to be giving you a lot of trouble. A pretty standard World 5 so far. It doesn't look like anything out of the ordinary, and it seems like a lot of times whenever there's a lot of levels on the bottom, there's not going to be a lot of levels on the top. So we'll see about 4, including the tower, that they'll have to play. 2 levels, a fortress, and then the tower. And then once they get to the top, this very well could be over as well. So we'll see what happens.
World 5 has a tendency to lull you into a state of thinking it's going to go fast, and then you get to the top, and there's those 3 tile spaces before the end that, I mean, if that's 3 levels, that's 2 minutes of time right there, so we'll have to see when they get to the top.
And especially if there's a really tricky level up there of 7-5. I mean, we've already seen proa use his cloud.
Yeah.
Now we see 3 hammer suits for proa. Very interesting to see. Now he's debating whether or not he wants to play the Hammer Bros.
First hammer suit, or first hand level, I should say, gives us an anchor, which is a P-Wing. I think he made the right decision. You play the Hammer Brothers, about the same, maybe a little faster than a level. It gives you 2 items. I think that's the right call, doing that over the level.
MaCobra looking at his inventory. We saw a music box still in there. A lot of really good items for him. It looked like he had his clouds as well still in tow. So he is, of course, going to be looking to use that at some point.
In the Cloud Hammer Brother setting, if there's an item in the middle block on the bottom, there's always one in the upper right as well. It's the only arena that has 2 items. Some people don't know that if you look right away on the bottom and there's an item in the middle, there's one on top as well.
Yeah, definitely useful, especially if you're a small Mario. If you can get a mushroom and then another power-up on top, that really is helpful in getting ahead. MaCobra with a bit of a catch-up here.
That's a nasty enemy to have right there. Thankfully, they both have an extra hit to give.
Okay, I stand corrected for sure. This top is going to be 2 levels required, as well as a fortress. I would be surprised if MaCobra doesn't break out the power-up here, or the cloud power-up, I should say.
Yeah, if it were me, I would check what this level was, and if it was fine, I would cloud the fort. They usually tend to take longer. If it's the World 1 fort, you have that section where you're waiting for the ceiling to go up and down, which can take a while, so MaCobra going for the P-speed strats in this level, which can be dangerous. Certain enemies can despawn some of those spinner platforms, but gets through it easily, and they're almost caught up again. Yeah, this is a great fort to cloud. You gotta wait on this escalator, you gotta go through another room. Yeah, if it were me, I'd be clouding this all day, but still faster than 7.5 or 6.6, so perhaps a wise decision by MaCobra.
Indeed, he was able to utilize a damage boost there, which I think is a very good move. I'm almost a little interested to see, or I was interested to see if proa would go for a clip there at the bottom of the escalator route. He did not. He didn't even choose to go for it. It saves a few seconds. In a match this close, you know, that could make or break the run.
Proa usually doesn't go for too many clips outside of the ones in Bowser's Castle.
Yeah, it can
Have a
definitely
tail
be
there. I
any.
want to keep fire, but I've gotten to the point where if I have a tail, I try to lose it before the end of the level, because trying to clip in 7-1 or 7, whatever the other stage is, it's very difficult with a tail. So I've already seen Fort Knox. I'm getting rid of the tail pretty much any chance I can.
Absolutely. The tail can be very tumultuous running through with it, because I found out recently that there's only 250 frames that a tail is good for as soon as you jump and you have P-speed. So it will actually slow you down once you have the tail and you've jumped once, which will affect a lot of
with a nice fire kill.
a lot of the P-speed strats that we'll see. And also that was 7.6, which you can actually fly over if you have a P-wing or even a tail. It's very hard to generate speed, but it is possible. And 7.9 would also be another one that's a tail's not bad on, but would be very difficult if you tried to clip with it.
So we're on pace for about a 30-minute seed right now. Still have 6 to see, which can be very long. This is kind of an ugly start to 1. You're going to play 5 levels minimum in 1, which is something you never want to see.
All right, a little bit of a change. We have MaCobra going off of 1.5, and we have proa going for 3.1 right now. So we'll see which one's faster. My bet is MaCobra's going to be able to get through here pretty quick as well and gain just a little bit of time on it. And beautiful use of the tunnel strat there. Very nice.
Yep. Stewie pointing out in chat that it's a Fred in world, but not in position. Or wait. Yeah, nope, MaCobra's, that is.
Both of our runners now onto 2-4 here. Unfortunately, MaCobra not able to dodge and is going to take some damage from that.
Yeah, this can be a scary level depending on what Hammer Bros you draw. The Sledge Bros in particular can be kind of difficult in certain spots. They can stun you or just get in your way. They tend to jump when you don't, or they don't jump when you want to jump. They do the opposite, and you always end up running into them. Pro is going to go for the 1 cycle here. See if he gets it.
Had a boo there, and he was unfortunately... Wow, he was able to get it. Excellent.
Intentional damage there. MaCobra makes it.
Normally about this time we would be talking about World 7 as being a great equalizer. World 6 could potentially be the exact same way. Who are we kidding? There's no chance, there's no possibility that that's going to happen.
So you're playing 6 levels in World 1, including 7F2, which can be long. That's a nasty World 1. Which is kind of nice to see after all the short worlds. You get to see a little more gameplay.
Well, I did roll the seed, so I was expecting it to get a little difficult at some point. So far, so good.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the 6-6 into 7-5 into 5-9 in World 6.
You heard it here, folks. The commentator curse. We'll see if it comes live.
MaCobra taking the damage boost, getting a slight lead. Pro with the fire kill. It's pretty close here. MaCobra still has a cloud we got to keep in mind.
That's absolutely true. If either of the auto-scrollers do come up here, it could mean the big difference between them. Because if it's a required auto-scroller, then that is going to require, obviously, proa to go through it unless you can get into the cloud here at some point. Whereas MaCobra will be able to take a 100 coin fine and actually go back in or just cloud over it.
Pro's got to be careful not to get gulped here. Yep, takes it safe. Wise decision. He knew the boss bass was going to be respawning in about 4 to 5 seconds after you kill it.
Also, another thing to be careful of is when boss bass does come back, he likes to come back on the level that you're on. So that can be very dicey at times, depending on if you're jumping, if you're in midair, depending on where you are in the level. Boss bass can play some havoc on you. I mean, what more can you say about that one? That was just a beautiful run on both sides.
Still within about 5 seconds of each other. This might come down to World 8. They call it the Great Equalizer for a reason. Routing is king, so we will see.
And sometimes it just comes down to a little bit of luck, that you pick the right route, you pick the one that maybe doesn't make sense. I mean, both these runners will not know where the other one is, obviously. But what they will know is that they have not completed their run yet. So if they are both sitting there, there may be some divergence just for the sake of, hey, I got to get done before they do.
Bro with the nice P speed. Strats. This is going to be almost in sync, except MaCobra gets the off-screen wand grab, which saves 4 or 5 seconds. I can't remember exactly how much.
Yeah, it's about 4 to 5 seconds. We'll actually see MaCobra disappear quicker, and then the few seconds later, there comes proa. So just absolutely neck and neck this entire time. I mean, you got to expect it from the reigning finalist from last year. It was slated to be a very exceptional run, and so far we've gotten just that.
And there's the cloud usage.
We'll see if it was worth it here in just one moment. Okay. Not a terrible leveled cloud. Not one that I would prefer, especially if I wasn't sure if another auto-scroller was coming up. But a really difficult level to get a P-speed strat on. So not bad. Not shabby.
Yeah, the jumps at the end are, I don't know, they're kind of clinchers. They're one tile, you're on ice. You can't really see on the last jump. Kind of scary, so not a bad level to cloud. You want to use it, I mean, before World 8, typically. Not usually a lot of opportunities in World 8 to use a cloud, so not a bad cloud usage there. Into the
definitely
super
have to
tank.
agree with that. MaCobra currently making his way through the tanks, which is the first fortress you come to. I don't know that he knows what is in the pipe yet, but he played a strategy of see a fortress, play a fortress, and I really like that.
I don't think they have any hammers yet. Hammer suits.
Which doesn't play the same way for some reason. Not really sure why.
MaCobra in 2-3, which can be, well, he's got to be careful here, can be very nasty depending on the enemy set. If you get a boss bass or the sun, like we see, kind of hones in on your position, takes a death. It's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate death there for MaCobra.
It's gonna
not one that
negate
you
the
will
cloud
see very
usage.
often involved. Having a little bit of a problem.
If he gets
with
the hammer
Fire
from
Brothers.
this early bro, it could be good for him.
Oh, very unfortunate enemy set here as well, as MaCobra takes immediate death, but he'll be greeted with a star. No P-speed strat yet, but that star, of course, will be very welcome as he tries to get through these piranhas and nippers.
I think this is 610, normally a very difficult level to P-speed in the vanilla game. Can be difficult depending on what enemy set you get.
Absolutely, and just like that, our runners are neck and neck yet again. I mean, it really is going to come down to the wire. We haven't seen any other clouds. And as soon as I say that, we now have a cloud and a P-wing come up, which means if proa plays the second hammer,
Proa might not get the one. We'll see. All right, he's going to go for it.
Very wise decision on his part.
Yep. With 8-2, not a bad level to cloud, especially with the baby bass. MaCobra using the hammer suit effectively, though.
An unfortunate loss of hammer suit there, but a very good point made in chat from Claris.com. Because we do have the two 10 panels, that does mean that there is only going to be a single fort here in World 6, which means the tanks that we saw already should be it. And if they see a pipe, they very well might take it just to get around another level. MaCobra able to blow through 2-5, no problem at all.
Yep, a lot of levels on the back end of this seed. 1 and 6 in particular.
And just like that, we have MaCobra now entering World 1's airship. He is going to find Lemmy and see if he can get another wand grab. I think that's going to be a very good decision using the P-Wing gear.
One hitter, nice.
One shot, Lemmy, so no problem there at all.
Lemmy, in my experience, is either 1 hit or 5 hits every single time. Nothing in between. Pro going to try to match the off-screen wand grab with the P-Wing.
And I find it usually goes off of the speed, so it's not just like one of them has 1, and then the next has 3, then the next has 5. It feels like whenever you get a seed like that, it's going to be like 5, 5, 4, 5, 5, 5. Wow, currently we have a potentially very quick world too. We'll have to see what happens here. If the fort is pretty easy to get.
They get a hammer here, they can use it on the lock or the rock and go around and play the fort, but no dice there, so they're gonna have to do that. Actually, it wouldn't save any time. Never mind.
Yeah, no matter which way you look at it, that fortress is in the middle of all 3. So proa currently going through the coin ship that we just saw MaCobra on, and MaCobra currently through 2-1 here. So we'll see a pretty quick finish here on his part.
Yep, this is looking like it's going to come down to 8. MaCobra's got about a 1-stage lead at the moment.
And a wise decision on his part to use a music box when he did, hopefully to...
If proa keeps this tail through this level, he's going to take the lead here. Oh.
Absolutely. With Fort Knox being another good equalizer here, MaCobra is going to have...
MaCobra could have taken the intentional death and used a P-Wing, but decided to go for the Tanuki suit instead. He might not have a P-Wing. I didn't get a good look at his inventory. They're...
I believe the last one he got
seconds apart
and used it on Lemmy to go for the off-screen one grab, which he did get. But like that, they just literally split apart. One shot on Boom Boom apart from each other.
Back and forth, just like we expected. Proa gonna take... Oh, no. MaCobra using the music box.
I think that's a very wise decision at this point. You just got to get done. You've already got the items that you're going to need for Bowser. Just get going. You got to go fast.
Just get into 8 and get it done. Haven't seen any super trolley levels so far, so we'll see what 8 has in store for us. The Great Equalizer.
Absolutely. I'm hoping for like 3 pipes at the beginning that all go in different locations. I want the absolute epitome of not linear. I want it to be completely crazy. But on MaCobra, you have a wild Tanuki appears. Command!
Well, with hammers not breaking locks, bracket seeds are pretty much, I mean, you see a fort, you kind of want to play it, get it out of the way, but sometimes you get a free shot to Bowser's Castle, so it's all a gamble. They're both playing the same fort here.
Yeah, this is Fort 4F1. It's the first fortress that you come to in World 4. We see MaCobra taking the top route, whereas Pro-A said, you know what, I'm going to take a little bit of a safer route. Go for the item down there and see what I can do with it. I think what that means for MaCobra is that it's going to be a little bit of an advantage and a lead here. But he's going to find out that he just completed a loop and went back to the lava lake.
Still a lock on the screen there, both screens, so that means Bowser's Castle, well, there's all the rest of the forts, so Bowser's Castle is either one bridge or zero bridge at this time.
Which is very interesting, considering what we do have and what we know right now is that it's anybody's game. And we got a lot going to World 1, or the Level 1 panel, which very well could mean
I think you have to go up here, yeah, because you can see those two icons, so you know that there's no pipe to Bowser that way. So take the fort in your way, check the pipe. Proa is just going for that there's going to be a troll of it being the Air Force in the corner. Which I think you just have to find Bowser's Valley at this point when you know that there's only 1 or 0 bridges required. I think MaCobra's going to find it after he might speed through this. Nope. Taking the intentional death.
Yeah, not a bad level, but the intentional death is not
no.
Yeah, either.
The way to Bowser's Keep is through the hand bridge, so
that is absolutely correct.
Proa might be in really good shape here. I mean, he's only got 1 more castle to beat. MaCobra has... Yeah, he's got it. MaCobra's Proa is in the driver's seat right now.
Absolutely. He's got more of the fortress.
Go back to the hand bridge.
Got a quick question in chat. We've got Titan Harrison is new here. Welcome, Titan Harrison. Definitely appreciate you being here today. It is not every level. This would be considered an any % no warp run. So there's no warps, there's no warp whistles. We don't allow the runners to do that. And it is not every level. It's beat the game as fast as you possibly can. In World 8, it's a very good idea if you see a fortress to play it, because it could be the thing that allows you to get to Bowser, go through the padlock that's actually going to keep you from the fort that you need to play. So it's just a very good idea. Otherwise, other than that, it's just beat Bowser as fast as you can.
Proa's got a pretty significant lead here. MaCobra still has to play a level and a fort. Now I'm confused. What didn't Proa play?
They are coming down to the wire. MaCobra deciding to go ahead and play through 1-3 here, which I think is required. And now we finally get a glimpse at Bowser's Valley, which means there is 1 bridge that Pro-A still hasn't beat yet.
Oh, he must have clouded the 8 fort, or the fort. That's the only explanation. So MaCobra, this is going to be tight.
Yeah, MaCobra currently going through his World 4 fortress as well, which means he's going to
play the Navy
down the wire. I apologize. 5F1, not 4. I mean, both players donning their hammer suits. I feel like this is literally going to come down to the wire, because we've already seen Pro-A play the one that, or MaCobra played the one that Pro-A just came out of. So even though they picked 2 different routes, I think they're going to be finishing these fortresses. This very well could come down to the cliffs in Bowser's Castle, and that is it.
Yep, Proa clouded the 8 fort, so Now he is one level behind. MaCobra has beaten all the forts, so he can go right to the end. I think he still has to play the tank level, which is probably about the same length as the fort that Proa just did, so it's going to be seconds apart going into the castle. I think Proa is going to get there first, but he has a couple more pipe transitions.
And that's literally it. It's just going to come down to the pipe transition at this point. MaCobra is 1 pipe away, whereas Proa, I believe, is like 3 away at this point.
Oh, careful. All right.
Now a cloud, which is going to do absolutely nothing for our runners.
Proa is 3 seconds ahead of MaCobra right now. Already has a hammer suit, so he can go right in. Now, I was watching Proa yesterday, the final clip to get into Bowser's arena. He usually only goes for twice, and then he takes his luck with the fireball hallway, so if he doesn't get the clip and MaCobra does, MaCobra could take it, but let's see.
Any man's clip goes both ways from Proa and MaCobra on the first try there. Proa giving it one shot.
One time. Oh. Well,
MaCobra's game.
Now he gets the first try clip. That's impressive.
Proa having to be just a little defensive in his approach to fireballs. MaCobra has entered the room first.
Oh my gosh, it could be a tie. It's a tie.
It's too close to call.
Bowser literally died on the same frame. They're both hitting. That's a tie. Tie in the race room. I didn't know. The text on the screen is literally going across on the same exact. Wow, I'm stunned. Well, Cobra's curtain hit the bottom slightly before Proa's.
If we had a 100% pure, absolute, perfect sync, maybe. I literally cannot tell.
Let me. Let's see.
I mean, at
So
this
it looks like MaCobra finished with a time of 36 flat, and Proa was marked as a 36:01. So, looks like MaCobra is going to get the first win. That is outstanding.
That is absolutely incredible. I got nothing. I mean, and we've got a couple things in chat here real quick. One is racetime.gg is what we're using, and it's not even typing.done anymore. We actually have a button that does it for you. You can type it, but it's, you know, in time, Fonzoid is actually when you hit the door for Bowser's Castle. So for anybody that is unfamiliar with that, it's actually when you press up to enter Peach's room. So that's literally what it comes down to. At this point, it's going to have to be a restream or a re-time on the VOD because it's impossible to tell who did what. We'll be getting into the second match here real quick. Folks, we told you it was going to be a very tight, very close race down to the wire. We weren't joking. I mean, this was exceptional. A 36-minute race from the beginning. You know, we never saw it. World 4 finally took a little bit longer. That required them to take about 6 minutes to get to about the 15-minute mark. And then Along World 6 as well as Along World 8 actually postponed them from getting that sub 30, and actually took them about 36 minutes both just to get through and finish up the World 8.
I don't have the rules right in front of me, so I don't know if there is a margin for a tie or if those rules are in place, but I'm sure we will be told at some point.
Yeah, I'm going to have to leave that up to somebody that knows more than I do, because that's way too close to call. I mean, at this point, all we can know is for sure is that was an incredible matchup, and I hope we get another one. I hope we get another one kind of like that. And you got to think, I mean, over the course of the entire race, 8 worlds, so many different 50-50 decisions, so many chances to use a cloud and they didn't, other chances to use a cloud they did, and really, literally, it came all the way down. So MaCobra hit the clip, Proa was just a little bit more defensive on the fires, didn't even go for the clip to go into Bowser's room, and wound up with nothing shy of an extraordinary finish. Crazy. We are currently having a little bit of a conversation in the background with the runners currently. I mean, at this point, I can't determine that one was the winner. It's super difficult to just say, yeah, you know, MaCobra had it, because he definitely had the done first. In the background, we definitely had the done come from MaCobra as well. But if there was any kind of a slip, if there was any kind of a glitch, any latency in that, it literally is just too close to call.
Yeah, we could just make them race again. I mean, they raced last year for like 4 hours, so MaCobra had to beat Proa like 2 out of 3 times, and then that took them into like sudden death. They played like 4 or 5 matches. It was crazy.
All right, we're going to be coming up here in just another moment with the race. So in the background, we were talking about different things just to figure out what happens next. And we just got the second race going. We'll come back to that here in a moment. And what has been determined at this point is that because the site said MaCobra won, we're going to go ahead and base it on that. We're going to award MaCobra the win as a provisional. So we're going to go ahead and say that MaCobra won. If Proa wins this round, then they're going to go into a third match. If MaCobra wins, then they're going to have to get it reviewed as well. Either way, I do believe we're definitely going to have to go back and review that. If nothing else, that is the closest race I've ever seen, much less be a part of. I mean, it's absolutely sensational. It is so incredible seeing something that close. That just shows how good these guys are. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, a few weeks back, myself and Paradox, we tied through SRL, but it wasn't broadcast. So this is definitely the closest match I've ever seen. I've never seen them Bowser go down at the same time, enter the door at the same time, the text went across the screen at the same time. It's wow, stunned.
Absolutely. Absolutely stunning. I mean, what else do you say about it? Absolutely extraordinary, and I cannot wait to see what game 2 holds. I think if depending on how this one goes, we may as well just go into a third game, especially if Pro wins. Obviously, we'll be going into a second game here. I'm pulling for a third game no matter what the outcome is on this, because that would absolutely help us. Can't Stoppered. We are kind of discussing that in the background. I think we're going to have some of the moderators for the actual Discord review it as well, see what they say, because they should be able to time it. I know there's ways to get it down to the very millisecond, and I think we're going to rope a few of them in, see what they think, if it was absolutely one way or the other, or just have them go either way. So I mean, at this point, we're going to have to award it to MaCobra, because according to the timer, he did win, albeit by milliseconds, because MaCobra was at 36 even, whereas Proa was at 3601.2. So, I mean, it could have even come down to MaCobra having a 36.0.9, and point 0.3. That's latency. I mean, there's absolutely no way to claim it at that point.
Yeah, I mean, don't worry, everyone. There's it will be looked at. There will be a solution agreed upon by both runners. We're not just gonna, award it and not thoroughly go through it. So, like we said, this was Proa's solution, who as of right now was on the losing end of this one. So, well, I mean, and he said we're just going to give it to MaCobra for right now, and if he loses the next one, we will revisit it. So, on to the next race. What world are we starting in this time? I'm going to say I want something ugly. I want 6.
Interesting. Okay. I think I'm going to have to pull with a 4 start. I think we start in the middle like we did last time. Another one that I rolled, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if this one gets a little bit gnarlier. Scott Lennox, I think there's a good possibility we'll have our runners race 3. If nothing else, that's going to be a very good time. Even if it doesn't count, I mean, it's still going to be a really, really good time. MaCobra and Proa, they are no strangers to this game. They're no strangers to the big stage. They are no strangers to something like this occurring. I mean, they are both so sensational in their runs. And, Proa, even though he's technically behind here, he's got a lot to prove. And he is the kind of runner that will show up and put up a really extraordinary run here. So watch for a very strategic run, and even more so, watch for him to come out with something impressive. Might go a little bit aggressive here. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm starting to think they should just re-race.
I mean, personally, I'm fine with that. I love watching these guys race. It is so incredible, seeing these guys just fly through this. And I mean, I believe we have time. I think the schedule manager might have to tell me to shut up at some point, but I think that we have the slot for it. I believe we have 2 hours, and these guys are well within that time so far. So, and it's definitely going to be a nail biter for sure. So we'll come back to that here in a little bit. Dragon Knight, what happened is that both MaCobra and Proa finished off Bowser milliseconds apart, if that. And as far as we can tell, it was a perfect tie. In the background, it showed that Proa and MaCobra were both, or that MaCobra had won by a second, but we're going to have to revisit and retime it. All right, both
All right,
MaCobra and
getting
Proa.
ready to start here.
right, we have a World 3 start. So this should be interesting to see. No double hammers here for sure.
There is a P-speed strat you can do on this level. Saves a couple seconds. Can be risky, but neither runner deciding to go for it.
This is actually one of my least favorite levels because there is the possibility if you get to the second platform too quick that the first Buzzy Beetle will spawn low, and if you jump, you will miss it. I have missed it so many times, so it does pay to be patient, unfortunately.
Oh, Proa barely getting on that platform. I think he was surprised he survived that one.
Absolutely, that is one of the beta levels that had been put together in the code in the game, but never actually finished. So it has a very unique look to it. It looks very close to the 1.6 that we all know and love and have played many times before. But with this, they actually do have to play, or we actually finished it off. So Fred Coughlin, our developer, who puts all the randomizer stuff together, does an extraordinary job with it. He actually put the rest of the level together, so kind of gave it that 1.6 feel that we liked. We call it our 1.6 beta, and he threw a whole bunch of enemies in there. So very well done in his part. Thank you, but we hate it. No, I'm just teasing. It's a wonderful level. It is really a good one.
Well, I got my ugly start. World 3 has 4 required levels to start, with a pipe that we don't know where it goes beyond that, with a fort definitely required. Didn't see any 10 tiles, so I'm assuming that there's 2 forts in this level.
I apologize. I think I made that a little confusing. The beta level that you just saw, the 1.6 beta, was a partial beta level in the game. So it was left in the code, but it was never finished. Then Fred came back and he finished and made it playable. So sorry about the confusion. Proa taking a little bit of damage on a double fire brother, and unfortunately the motion went the wrong way.
So you got to play 2 more levels to even get to a fort. 1 more level, sorry.
Yeah, Proa trying to figure out his strategy there. He does have a lock in his way, so he does have to go around and play the same one that MaCobra is going through as well. Both small Mario, which is interesting. As our runners make their way through 6-3, we'll see our first level, our first fortress, I should say.
And we'll know right away if this is the required fort, because it will either break the lock right next to the fort or not. So that was the required fort, so they're going to head back and take on Wendy. I don't know if any of them have any decent power-ups for her, so they could be going into Wendy small.
Yeah, and that is a scary place to be for sure. Wendy, especially if it's an earthquake Wendy, if it's a beefy Wendy where she takes 4 or 5 hits, could spell trouble for our runners, but they're going to get a level 1 airship, which means 1 power-up. We'll see if it's anything. Unfortunately, it's going to be a star. It's going to be a lot of defense.
Proa getting a hammer suit. Luckily, she's only 1 hit.
That is very interesting. We've seen Proa do that a couple times in some recent events, where Proa likes to take a hammer or a toad house very early in the run, which we just saw him do there. And if another hammer suit does not pop up, that could be the difference. That is the fastest way to kill Bowser. And if MaCobra has anything else, if it comes down to the wire like it did last time, it's Proa's this time.
Yeah, MaCobra about 10 to 15 seconds ahead right now. 2 gold forts to start World 5, which I think you have to just play them both. This one's gonna build the bridge. And since I'm assuming that there's a blue fort up top, I'm not sure if the one on the bottom is going to be required or not.
Yeah, I mean, I think both runners will wind up playing it strictly because, okay, I am completely wrong.
Yep, you're going to have to go up the tower twice if you're wrong, so
Right.
this could be a big play here early on.
A little gutsy, but I think MaCobra is going off the fact that he believes there's a blue fortress up top like you've been talking about. We'll see if Pro8 makes the same decision. He has. Very interesting.
Yep. Nope. No one's going to have an advantage from this.
That's correct, absolutely. But that also means they're not going to have a disadvantage.
And it's not needed, either of them. MaCobra having the heads-up play to take the pipe, which skips 2 levels right to the end. So that's as good of a World 5 as you can get, pretty much.
Absolutely. I mean, you played a fortress and then a tower, and that's it. And these guys are going to be moving on here within the next minute. Both of them will be finishing off World 5 and going into the next one.
MaCobra is playing very fast right now. He's one of those players that are like your all-time great quarterbacks, Tom Brady, Joe Montana. They get better and better the longer you play. These two have no problem going 3 games if it needs to.
Absolutely. And MaCobra is one of those players that you watch and you just think, yeah, that looks easy. That looks like something I could do. And then you try it and you're like, how on earth can this guy do these kind of things? I mean, it's fantastic. And using your quarterback analogy, I mean, it's so incredible seeing those players at the height of their game and being able to do what they do. And that's exactly what these two guys do. And it's just flawless all the way through. You know, you take a death and it's almost unheard of. Like, you know, absolutely crazy. And a very fine kill there at the end with Boss Bass. Shot a fireball right before he lost it and was able to chase it all the way down.
MaCobra got the H jump there. So he's about a stage and a half ahead right now. So that just goes to show if you're getting a lot of levels that you can do P-speed strats through, it's definitely pays to get those down.
Absolutely, and MaCobra is nothing short of exceptional with those. Knowing when and how to use them in a randomizer is half the battle, and then knowing how to use them is the other half. And he's got both, and this is going to be his unless Pro A is able to figure out a few different strats to come back.
Yeah. It is only World 3, so anything can happen, including the Great Equalizer. MaCobra getting a tank level, which has an item at the end of it. Proa took a different level. He took the beta stage, which I think is faster than the stage that MaCobra played. Proa is very good at the P-speed strats on this level. Gets through no problem.
MaCobra entering into the panel 4 here, which it happens to be the Boomerang hand level, Boomerang Brother. And we will see what the hand level produces. It is a frog suit. Once again, we find ourselves at an extraordinary pace. With that first start, I thought we might have been in for a little bit of a longer ride, but so far we're in World 3, at 10 minutes, and MaCobra is finishing it off and should be done by 11 minutes. He should be entering the next world shortly after.
Yeah, MaCobra's flying right now. He's feeling it. Proa's trying to keep pace. Cobra gets a fire kill.
And that was a very quick fire kill as well. That's one he did not waste any time at all. I mean, he got the one bounce in to go ahead and just finish things off really fast. And that's impressive. You know, if you take too long, then you're wondering, hey, did I lose time instead of gain time? Because every Koopa kill will have to be 10 fireballs. Except for Bowser. Bowser's 30. But every Koopa kid is 10, and that is not randomized. Whereas the jumps are. So if it's a 5 or a 4 hit Koopa, then yeah, a fire kill is going to be a lot quicker. But if it's only one, you know, you want to kind of do a hybrid of both to make sure you're not wasting any time.
Hand Stage is handing out frogs today. I know some people that might like that, but frog suit's usually just a suit to put on to damage boost, unless you get lucky and use it before a water level, but you don't often. Well, could have used it on the fort here, actually. But he's not going to trade his fire flower for a frog suit.
My nickname for the frog suit is it's a mushroom in disguise.
Yeah, exactly.
I
saw one lock on the World 7 screen. Didn't check to see if there was a 10 tile. I didn't see one, so just assume that there's 2 forts right now, at least. Alright, so that broke the lock. Looks like there's one fort left. See if it's required.
Cobra having
dead end.
Yeah, we talk about this being the great equalizer, and so far we've got MaCobra doing everything wrong. He's taking all of the pipes that he's trying to find and figure out, and unfortunately has still not found the right one.
Yep, that fort is definitely required.
Alright, MaCobra has finally found the fort, was able to use the screen change to actually bypass the piranha. And with that, MaCobra has found World 8 Fortress. A long one, but not terribly difficult. The only issue is getting through the one cycle here. And he should have no problem at all with this, getting into the second door, which he has done.
Took the intentional hit.
Alright, just fortress apart, proa is beginning what MaCobra has just ended. Now MaCobra will have to go through the piranha. I take that back, he has put it to sleep. And I believe that may stay long enough for him. No, I apologize. There's a level 4 panel, so the music box will expire before he's able to get through the piranha.
Yeah, it's a decent opportunity to cloud because you got both piranha plants asleep. You can cloud this level, and that's essentially 2.5 stages that you skip. But MaCobra's going to hang on to it, seeing as we haven't seen any of the nasty levels yet today.
Yeah, I think the only thing you gain here is the satisfaction of being done with World 7 quick. And really, playing the piranhas is not the worst option, considering it does give you an item at the end. Really, it's just a time loss. A little curious that MaCobra went ahead and used a P-Wing here, but he will be
man, that's big right there. Proa did exactly what I said, which was plowed that stage and bypassed the piranha, MaCobra played it, and it ended up having a cloud. So, advantage MaCobra at the moment. He's got 2 clouds to 0. In brackets, clouds are much more important than locks.
Yeah, there's definitely a huge need for clouds in this, especially with 5.9 still being out there. We haven't seen 7.5 yet. We haven't seen 6.6 yet. We just got a Wild Tanuki appears command. But other than that, I mean, we've got a lot of game to play. I think the cloud was an aggressive move on Proa's part, and I feel for him because I know he's definitely feeling the pressure that he has to get something going. We'll see if he's able to get through it.
So this fort is not required. Probably better off to just play through it because you don't know where the lock is on the other side. Could be in a very inconvenient spot if you go for the item, which neither runner is.
Yeah, I believe that's a very good play on both their parts, because while World 1 Fortress cannot be critical to the route, it cannot be in the way, otherwise the runners would have a soft lock and they'd have to start over, both forfeiting obviously the match. But it can be annoying. So because there's the pipe there at the top, we know that this fortress is going to open up the lock. There's no other way to play this without the Air Force actually breaking the lock. But the pipe could lead directly to the castle and is only accessible by way of the lock that you just broke, or they have to go all the way around. So there could be a huge swing here, or it may not have even been in the way. We don't know.
Yep, unless you load up the seed and play it yourself, we're never going to find out.
I really want somebody to load up the seed and play it now. And with that, we are going to see Proa go through the pipe first. We'll see what we have here. Okay.
All right, so you could have gone for the item because there's no way that that fort could have blocked the castle. But no harm, no foul.
Absolutely, and MaCobra using the frog suit for exactly what we talked about. He used it as a mushroom in disguise, and we'll be able to grab a fire flower at the end, just as we saw Proa do.
Skips the fire flower. So Proa has about a 10-second lead, but MaCobra does have 2 clouds, so got to keep that in mind.
Absolutely. The 2 clouds right now is definitely greater than 10 seconds. Unless clouds start flowing in, or MaCobra makes a really bad decision like skipping over 2 hand levels. This is really starting to look in MaCobra's favor.
This is 5-2, I believe, which you want to take the top route every single time. The bottom route's nasty, even if the enemy set's friendly. There's no real fast way to do it. There's a lot of awkward block placements. You can't really get a lot of speed going, so both of them taking the top route is the way to go. And you have to follow that entire way.
Absolutely. The difference in the vanilla game, I believe, is about 16 seconds if you miss the fall, and it has been affectionately called the fall of shame. Okay, MaCobra opting
Fall of shame, stand of shame.
MaCobra is opting to... He used a cloud in this on the waterfall stage that we just saw Proa get through. Waterfalls is another one of the beta levels. It's very iconic and very indicative of 7.1, 7.6, except you have no ability to clip through it, and you cannot take an intentional death there you have to play through the level. So MaCobra does take a lead here with that cloud. He is going to find World 2's fortress first, and we'll see if he's able to build the bridge or if he does have to go back.
Yeah, I'm a little confused why I used a cloud there, because that other fort could be the fort that you have to play. I must have missed something.
The waterfall was in the top right corner of the route, and the pipe was after that. So it looked like he used the cloud to go ahead and get to the pipe to reclaim his status on the map. So that level will not be required.
I see.
He does have to go back. He'll be able to use it.
Making the right call, though.
Definitely. With it being a route critical fortress, it's definitely the one to play. If not, it still is done for when you have to go back to the castle. If the other one's required, obviously you'll have to go back. But another cloud from MaCobra. He's going to be skipping a whole world here in a moment.
Proa with a hammer, which isn't very useful now. So MaCobra getting lucky with another cloud pickup. He needs to definitely use them both before World 8, I would say, but I might want to save one for World 8 just in case. It's pretty rare that people do that.
That hammer actually could come back to play. World 6, I believe, is still coming up. And if that first pipe that has a rock in front of it happens to be really meaningful, that could be a huge swing here.
Yeah, I'm getting my my seeds mixed up. I think I didn't realize they hadn't played 6 yet.
It's all good. It's easy to do. We see 16 worlds, and sometimes they get a little conjoined at times, but
Still neck and neck as it stands.
MaCobra opting to take a cloud right off the bat and a Tanuki into the Navy.
Wise decision. You don't know when you're going to be able to use it again, so Cobra's going to extend his lead here.
Yeah, definitely.
At this point, the hammers are no good anywhere else, so just, I mean, maybe take a peek, but pretty much just go and just break that rock and just see where it takes you right off the bat.
I think you basically have to at this point. Or the other option is the rock further into the map. If it happens to be a really long World 6, which it's going to be, the rock will actually be more useful here, and you can skip the 7 panel.
Yeah. All the pipes are in the same area, so absolutely no use to the hammer. Unless you want to take the scenic route. But still gets its use. Save 1 level. That's all you can really ask for in brackets.
Absolutely. And Pro A taking a sneak peek there. And that is not going to be necessary with that rock that he has. Or with the hammer.
Proa has 1 cloud. Not sure where he got that. Terrible level for the frog. Can you even finish it? Can you get over the top as frog? I don't know if you can.
I think you would have to jump onto the block and then jump over, but whether or not it can happen, I don't know.
Yeah, or bounce off a cheap.
A insight from Paradox, really appreciate that. The cloud came from World Force coin ship. So they do both have one still.
Oh, okay, so they both got that one. Another frog suit.
Another beautiful run through the 7 airship from MaCobra. And like that, he is going to be on to his fight with Lemmy, whereas Pro A is just now starting it. So about 20 to 30 seconds difference here. depending on whether or not Pro A is able to get that P speed strat as well. But he does have a tail, so he can take this just a little bit more cautiously, but will still get through without any issues at all.
Yep, MaCobra is a World 7 airship ahead at the moment.
DLP, you got an answer to your question in chat from Lord Darkon. You can 100% get over that as a frog. You just have to jump off a cheap cheat.
Gotcha.
I've learned all kinds of stuff from chat today. I really appreciate it. Alright, now we're entering into the Great Equalizer. We saw MaCobra having some issues last year with a hand level that at the very beginning that was actually a 6-6, and it would not let him pass. I think he got grabbed like 9 times in a row. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Yep, let's have these matches not come down to hand luck.
Very possible.
Nice.
Pro-A,
Saving his spot. It's wise. Now if he takes an unfortunate death, he won't have to try his luck with the hand stage.
absolutely. Watch for the damage boost here from Pro-A as well. Or not. Okay, looks like he wants to keep the Tanuki. He decided to ride the escalator all the way.
Yeah, I think he's got to take the choke off. He's got to move. Damage boost, do whatever you can to save those little bits of time anywhere you can. We saw the last one ended. Cobra, fortunate. Tail into Fort Knox.
I think that's a really wise decision on Pro-A's part, not knowing if 7F2 or 7F1 is coming up. It's anybody's guess, and having that tail is just a really, really good way to do that. You saw a little nod of acknowledgement from Pro-A saying, hey, yeah, I got the right item for this. Let's go. Pro-A's seeing another fortress and deciding not to play it. That's very interesting. So 6F3 with the escalator. Currently we've got 2 drunk hotfoots that are really playing havoc on MaCobra here.
Oh gosh, he barely
Oh!
stood there.
He did not get through there. He had to. He hit the hot right before he went into the door, and the door actually delayed the death.
I've never seen that before. Never seen someone die as they're going through the door. Wow. Advantage Proa.
That has got to be an insane frame difference. Like, we see some frame tricks with the door 3 skip in World 3's Fortress. I mean, we do see some frame perfect tricks, and I think that's exactly what that was, is that he was trying to sneak in, and it just was too close, and he was still given the damage. That's insane.
Now they have the same knowledge. They're roughly 3 to 4 seconds apart. It's all going to come down to Bowser's Castle again. Proa has a hammer suit. I didn't see if MaCobra has one or not.
The hammer suit has come up a couple times in the Princess letters, so there's definitely one on both sides for these runners.
Oh, yeah. Pro's got 3. Oh, he's going to be able to do this level a little faster than MaCobra with the tail.
Yeah, the P-Wing there was a very good decision, as he is now going to be able to blow through this without any problems at all. This is another one of our beta levels, and there are a lot of enemies that lurk underneath.
Proa's got a massive inventory. I think MaCobra has a hammer suit and a star left. Which, he's good enough to play anything small, but he obviously would like that insurance. Oh.
And here we are.
All right. Yep. Who can get to Bowser's room first, whether through clipping or through the hallway?
Given what we know
I
so
mean,
far.
this is going to be tight. MaCobra gets first try clip again. We're right back where we started last match. This is crazy.
Speaking about first try clips, he just hit the base of the escalator. He didn't get it last time. He wasn't able to build this P speed at the beginning. But that first
not
clip,
bothering with it. I think Pro has got it if he doesn't take any damage here.
yeah, it's going to come down to damage. MaCobra missed the clip this time, which is, I think, going to be the difference because Pro is playing a little careful here.
This is 4 or 5 hammers, and Pro wins it. GG to him. Wow.
I think if MaCobra had hit that clip first, we would have been down to a second match again. But with that, Pro-A is your winner of the second game. Ladies and gentlemen, get comfortable, get popcorn real quick. We are going to game 3. Doing a little reminiscing here over that last one. Paradox did just bring it up. 6F3 death for MaCobra was bad enough. Then having to play it again was even worse. And with it not being required, it's impossible to know until you can find where Bowser's at and you know exactly how many bridges, if there's a lock that's going to prevent you from getting to Bowser. No matter what it is, you're going to have to figure that out. And until then, you play the forts. You see them, you play them. And with 6F3, not only was it not required in the end, that death was actually even more powerful because that wound up being the death that really changed the game. I mean, even at the end, Bowser's Castle, they were exactly as far apart as they were last time. And for them to just come in like that, it was extraordinary. I mean, and then MaCobra just accidentally missed the clip. It's one of those things, the clips give and the clips take away, and unfortunately that time for MaCobra, that was one where the clip was taken away.
Yep, I mean, if he doesn't take that death there, he probably takes it, but if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. So
I'm not sure I've heard that one before, but I like it. We're going to be going into a quick break here real quick. Our runners will be getting ready for the third match. Grab your popcorn, get your water, your soda, your candy, whatever it is. Get ready for round 3. Excuse me. It's going to be round 3, and we're going to be getting into that here in just a few minutes. We've got to get the runners started, but definitely go grab your stuff, come back, get ready for another very exciting, very nail-biting race, because this is going to be nothing short of extraordinary yet again. I guarantee it. You are not going to want to miss this. After this third race, we are going to be going into a Link to the Past randomizer. That is going to be a race between Scary Olive and Jet082. That's going to be right here on twitch.tv/SpeedGaming2. That's part of the SG Live that is currently going on. We want to give a special shout out to everyone that's been a part of this, both on scene, behind the scenes. We've got an extraordinary event here planned from Speed Gaming. Definitely show them your love. The restreamers in the background who have been putting this on for us, who have been coordinating all the commentators, the runners, everything that goes into this. It certainly is appreciated. They definitely appreciate everyone being here for that. I know I certainly do. Having people in the chat just makes it so easy to interact, and it makes it a lot of fun. And of course, proa007 and MaCobra52 both putting on an extraordinary show is it's amazing, and it's a lot of fun to watch. So thank you so much to Speed Gaming for putting this on, for having us here. Definitely be here for the A Link to the Past randomizer. This is a Group P, and it's going to be, once again, between Scary Olive versus Jet082. So be looking forward to that. That'll start right about 4:20. So it'll be just a little bit after this one ends up, so you'll have plenty of time to stretch, take a quick walk, and then come back for that. Also, currently going on Speed Gaming Live right now, over on the main channel, is a Ocarina of Time randomizer as a part of a Group A run. It is the Salty Sponge versus Cola. So if that doesn't intrigue you, I don't know what would. Those names are very fancy. I love it. But that is currently going on, and will be going on for the next couple hours as well. And then after that, at 6:20 this evening, Eastern Time, once again here on Speed Gaming Live's Speed Gaming 2, will be another A Link to the Past randomizer race as well.
Yep. If people in chat, if you aren't doing so, give our runners a follow. They're both extremely good at this game, fun to watch. Yeah. I was worried that this match wouldn't be as advertised, but it's definitely living up to the hype, I'd say.
Oh, absolutely. And then some. I mean, these guys are extraordinary. And when you see these two names come up in randomizer tournaments, even in Super Mario Brothers 3 tournaments, you have to expect very, very good things from these two. I mean, they are just absolutely fantastic. They are nothing short of amazing runners. And, these guys are ready for the finals. So one of these two guys is going to come back and very likely be a fighter all the way to the end. It would not surprise me at all if one of these two does go all the way to the finals again.
Yuna and Nerdo, thank you for the raid.
Uninuro? Not exactly. We are getting ready to go into the third of the the third of the best of 3. The very first one, I would highly recommend you go back and watch because it's extraordinary. They came down to 10.
We won't spoil it. Just go back and watch it.
Right. And we won't say any more about that. Looking ahead to the tournament bracket, we have the winner of Midi Guy and the Haxer taking on our Human Mustard. The winner of course of this one will take on the winner of the game between Human Mustard and whoever wins the one before that. So if that's not confusing enough, I'm sorry. Then we have a couple of other games coming up here soon tonight. I don't know how many of them will be restreamed yet. I know that we're still kind of looking at the schedule to see where we can get some of those pushed in, but definitely appreciate the love. We really love doing this SMB3. It's been a huge joy for me being on the comms desk with DLP. I'm Grobel, so if you guys like this, definitely get your shout outs there for Speed Gaming, and we'll see if we can get some more on there for you.
Yep. All right, chat. Final match. What is the first world we're going to be starting with? I'm going to say 2. I want to say 5. I'm going to say 2 though.
I've been wrong every time, but I'm going to go with a vanilla start. I want to see World 1 come up.
Round 3, fight. Just getting the last minute details squared away here. About to start any second. World 6. All right. 2 forts here. Saw 2 locks, so don't know if there's a third one hiding away, but as it stands right now, they've got a free shot to the end, as long as there's not something on the last screen.
Yeah, that 6F3 start can be a little bit mystifying. Fortunately for our runners, and specifically MaCobra, that is going to be 3 boos instead of a couple of very obnoxious hotfoots. So we're going to be able to see them get through that no problem at all. And could be a very quick one. We have 5-9.
Required 5-9. Finally, a nasty level. Looks like the enemy set is probably going to be tame, so it's just pretty much a waiting game right now.
There's only a grand total, I believe, of 3 enemies in this. In the vanilla game, it's the flame tail chomps. But we'll see what happens. We saw Goomba at the beginning. We'll see if it's another one, and if it even appears on the screen.
Sometimes it's just some random Koopa or something that gets despawned off screen, but it looks like there is a fire chain chomp, or a fire chain, whatever you want to call it. Oh, careful, Proa.
Yeah, Proa not able to
fine though.
Deal quite as effectively with the chain or the fire chomp as MaCobra was, but both able to get through without any further issues. Looks like they're both going to go for the 8 panel, which I find interesting, and that'll be a 4-1 start for them.
Still think they got a free shot to the end, but we will see.
A possibility. There is one screen transitions I don't believe we've seen yet, which if it is holding a fortress, our runners may have to go back and find it. Just kidding.
Yeah. Pro with the tail here, if he does the flyover strat, he'll take the lead, which it looks like he's going to go for.
I think that's a very
Didn't
wise
quite get there.
MaCobra was also going for the fire clip there and was unable to complete that as well. That's a very difficult one, though, and not one that you want to do more than once. But thankfully, that is a one-shot Limmy, and that will be the end of World 6.
It's a pretty tame 6. 3 minutes for World 6. That's really good.
That's pretty extraordinary. That's very fast as far as World 6 goes. It has the propensity of being a 5, 6, 7 minute world, and for them to be finishing just after 3 minutes is extraordinary.
Yeah, you gotta, Seed 3, not sure what's gonna happen. You gotta go all out. You gotta take damage boosts where you don't normally do. You gotta go outside your comfort zone. 3 forts in World 3. So, it's 1 right there, and then a potential 50-50. We'll see what the runners do. 2 locks and a missing bridge, playing different forts.
Yeah, there's nothing that's hidden from these runners yet, except which fort is correct. And right now we have a little bit of divergence. I love to see it, because we've got MaCobra currently going
2 World
Oh,
6
I'm
ports,
sorry.
too, I should add.
And just like that, we've played all 3 of the World 6 fortresses so far.
All right, did that build the bridge? No. So Wendy's clear. They just got to find the pipe that takes them there. Proa broke the lock, so that fortress is absolutely not required that he played. So I think MaCobra is going to be in pretty good shape here. He's playing the 2 correct forts.
I find this a little interesting, and the fact that neither of these runners have done it shows how risky this strategy would be. But it is possible to play no other forts on this. In fact, it's possible to not play any forts at all. The only gamble, though, is that there are 2 paths that you would have to take. One would take the level 1 panel, and the 8 panel, you'd go directly down and then across. The other, you would have to build, or the other, you would just go straight through the 2 levels. I believe it's 1 and 4, and then you'd be onto the 2 pipes there. But if that's a dead end, you've played a level too much.
Yeah. I have seen locks on the prize island before, so you're absolutely right that this could be a no fort 3, but 9 times out of 10 there's a lock at the very end on Wendy's Island. See if MaCobra does the P-speed strat here where he slides down and takes a beetle off the noggin. Nope, didn't quite get it. So apparently if you're sliding, you don't take damage from like a shell or something like that that comes in you. It just sort of bounces off you. It's really bizarre. I'd never seen it until MaCobra did it.
Yeah, that's one of the strategies that players will use. Like, I used to use it all the time in 1.5. If you slide down, you can knock out all the shells as you're going down. And just like that, we've got 5-3.
Not sure what Pro is thinking. I think he's betting that one of the 2 pipes will take him to the end.
So I think this is a very good strategy here on both parts, because once the runners will get to the pipe, it will either take them to Wendy or it will take them to the other 2 that are up in or north and south of each other over on the right hand side. So I think this is a very good decision on both parts. And by playing 8, the World 5-3 there, he's able to open it up in case he doesn't have to play that forward. I think that's a very good decision.
And those pipes loop, so Pro is going to have to go back, play a Hammer Brother and the fort. So pretty significant lead at the moment for MaCobra, because the fort that Pro has to play is not a quick one. You have to ride it's 8 forts, so that's one of the longest forts in the game.
Indeed, this one's going to take a little bit of time for them to get through, and it's definitely going to be one that is going to haunt Pro A, I think, with Pro A taking the 3 route or the 3 forts to play, whereas MaCobra only played 2. That is going to be a huge difference. Got MaCobra currently on 8-2 here. He does have the Fire Flower, so he's going to be able to blow through here real quick. No Angry Sun, so nothing to worry about there.
Yep, this is basically a vanilla speedrun for him through this level.
Blind leap of faith there, but if you watch the clouds and you have the P-speed, that will actually get you through there very quickly.
Yeah, Pro unfortunately just saw a fort and played it. MaCobra gambled and got the lead at the moment. Got a tail there for this level is nice because you can completely skip the middle section where you would otherwise have to build a note bridge
Yeah, very extraordinary, a very excellent choice from MaCobra to go in with the tail and use that. And with that, he's going to be out of there and moving on. At this point, you have to believe that Pro A has I'm behind going through his head. I mean, you're in it for the long haul. You have to play smart. You have to play diligent, but you also have to play aggressive. And I think at this point, he has to believe he's behind.
8-1 and 8-2 in the same world. Two moderately difficult stages, especially depending on the enemy set. Proa taking the sand to shame. MaCobra did not, so that's a little bit more time that MaCobra is gaining by doing the regular strat.
And currently he has not played a fortress yet here because he has no idea where the locks are, if they're even going to be required. And at least one will be required. Unfortunate death for Pro A there. I think
that's
gets scary for him.
Oof, right there. Oh, boom boom slide on MaCobra's end. Pretty rare that you see that after you stomp on him. His body sort of slides in one direction. And I mean, if it hits you, there's nothing you can do about it.
MaCobra opting to put the music box, use the music box to put the Hammer Brother asleep. Pro A with the exact same strategy, he's going to be able to use the tail here and skip that middle portion as well.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what fort you play here, either one is going to break a required lock. Just depends on what level you draw. The one MaCobra drew is pretty quick. I know you don't like it.
It is a pretty quick level. I don't like things despawning as I'm trying to jump on them. But I think they are both going to be playing the exact same thing here, as the one fort is out of the way. So it's definitely not necessary, and the pipes really aren't going to do anything for you. So with one fort being in the route, I think that's the one that these both will play. Pro A not using the P speed there. He's opted to go ahead and just play through where the bullet bills are. I think that's kind of an interesting move there on his part.
Cobra's got about a 3.5, 4 stage lead at the moment. A lot of game left to play though.
Yeah, we still have World 7. We have we've played World 3. World 5 can be dicey. World 7 could be a great equalizer. World 8, obviously the great equalizer. A lot of game to play. Hopefully Pro A can get some of the 50-50 guesses right, because he desperately needs them at this point.
Yep, I mean, someone could get a cloud and skip a real nasty 7-5. Someone might have trouble with 7-5 or 6-6. We will see. But definitely not over.
No, definitely not over. There's still a lot of game to play. We've got about a 3-stage difference here, including an airship. So now we enter World 7. Currently, a little bit of an erroneous start for these two.
I feel like this hand stage has been in all 3 seeds. Let's see what it gives us this seed. A hammer. Wow. Only going to be useful in World 4 at this point.
Yeah,
we had 6, 2, and 3 already.
Yeah, and with the runners not able to break locks with the hammers because of the bracket stage that we're playing, that hammer's not going to be a whole lot of good anymore. MaCobra comes
Speaking of potential equalizers, how fast do the players get the clip? That's 4.
in the vanilla game, there's about 17 tries before you start losing time. MaCobra, not quite as many, but
I counted 8. 8 tries. It's pretty tame. World 7.
Yeah, so far not bad at all. MaCobra found out that his anchor was in fact a magic wing. You know, it's kind of hard to tell right now. We're finishing up World 4 with MaCobra's screen here, and he's going to be done in about 16 and a half, maybe 17 minutes. But there's nothing, I mean, there's no way to tell how fast this seed is going to take yet. And he does get a cloud from that Piranha, so that's a very good decision to play that one.
Yep, we'll see if Pro A music boxes that Piranha plan again. Second C in a row that's paid off for MaCobra to get a cloud from that level.
Absolutely, and just a couple stages behind, but hopefully he can make up some ground here. He's going to be coming up to 7-1 here in just a moment.
Does use a music box, but the plant will be awake by the time he gets there, so doesn't look like he's going to miss out on that cloud. MaCobra's done with World 7. Proa trying to clip with the tail, which is an absolute nightmare for myself. I never get it with the tail.
Surprisingly enough, one of the easiest ones for me to clip with is the frog. Other than that, a Tanuki suit's not bad. A tail can be hit or miss. Actually, a lot of them can be hit or miss. I know a lot of it is based on RNG, and the runners have actually found out a way for the vanilla game to kind of manipulate that based on where you end the game with Lemmy, or in the fight with Lemmy, and just a little bit of movement at the end will actually dictate what value is being used in the memory. Pro A having a little bit of a problem with this, so he has actually decided to go through 7-1.
He's going to take oh, he's playing it. Well, there's 7-5.
Unfortunately, Pro A does know what kind of a situation this puts him in. If he didn't believe that he was behind before, he knows he is now.
Yep, absolutely. He's probably thinking full-on gamble mode in 8 at this point. I mean, you sort of have to.
You absolutely do. If you're able to get into 8 right about the same time as MaCobra, I believe you absolutely have to play it in such a way that doesn't make sense.
MaCobra's playing through 7-5. I didn't get a look at the setup, so I don't know if it's required. I know he has a cloud. Gotta watch out for a Paragoomba here. There he is. Every time.
Pro A able to figure out the final island, and he's going to be playing through 5F2 here real quick.
Some runners will clip at the end there instead of having to go back through this mess. You have to be big, though, as far as I know.
I think there is a way to do a small Mario clip. I've never figured it out. I've heard rumors that it has happened before, but
I'm pretty sure you can in that instance. If it's like an edge that you can clip into, you can. I've seen that done, but I've never seen like your standard clip be able to do small. I'm pretty sure you can, but I could be wrong.
Pro A did in fact play the Piranha, which is a good thing, as he will also have the Cloud as well, which the way that the levels have been going so far, I mean, we've seen 5-9, We've seen, I believe we've seen 8F1 already. There's a lot of things that could potentially come up still. I mean, we still got 6.6 in the works. We haven't seen Atlantis yet.
Yep. As it stands right now, Pro is going to need a lot of help, but certainly not out of the realm of possibility. But that death there does not make it easier for him.
So from the chat, and the ever illustrious Teeks88 has mentioned that small Mario clips are only possible for top left corner clips, i.e. 7-7, 6F3, so on and so forth. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Teeks would certainly know, one of the top runners in Randomizer and Vanilla.
Yeah,
He's got a match coming up after this. A lot of Mario 3 today.
Absolutely. Got a lot of races. I believe there's actually going to be 4. As far as I know, this is the only one scheduled to be restreamed, but hopefully we can get some more Mario in there for you guys.
Now this could be a little bit of a time swing. Well, it is a mushroom, I was going to say. If MaCobra clouds and goes into Roy Small, but he's got 4 hammers as well, so he's got enough hammers for any project that he's trying to complete.
I'm pretty sure Thor would be proud, and if not, Tim the Toolman Taylor would be proud as well.
I would do an impression, but I'll spare everyone.
So far, it's looking like a pretty ridiculous World 5. I mean, Pro A now finding the 7.5. His eyes just got really big.
Well, that's why he didn't cloud it. There's a required fort behind it, so unless you have 2 clouds... Which, honestly, the length that 7.5 takes you, it's sometimes beneficial to do 2 clouds. I hate 7.5. I would do Atlantis all day over 7.5, personally.
A lot of it depends on what item you have or are able to get. If you have a tail in 7.5, it's actually a lot easier.
Yeah,
you
for
are
sure.
able to break the brick over on this right side, or you can actually go for a clip, which we saw Pro try there. Missed it, so he will go down and around. But there are a couple of opportunities to run a clip there, and if any of them work for you, that definitely puts you in a really good spot.
MaCobra almost getting the movement right through 4F2, right? I'm really bad at the knowing exactly what the numbers are and everything. Not sure. Okay. Proa taking a risk trying to go around that shell, takes damage from it.
And not a bad decision.
Cobra about to be 2 worlds ahead.
Currently using a beautiful P-Speed strat to get through there super quick, and that's going to spell the end for Iggy in this one. And 1 cut later, he's done.
Assuming MaCobra goes to hang on to this one, I mean, if it were up to me, I'd say just run another one, but it's not up to me, so...
As far as I know, and as far as we've seen so far, it looks like MaCobra does have the first one. Obviously, they'll have to reconvene afterwards, and we'll have to make that official and everything. But one thing for sure is that MaCobra, at this point, has it. And this is going to be a long level 1, or world 1. It's going to be at least 3 to get the 1 lock broke. We'll see if he decides to play that, or goes around without playing the fortress, which even then he is going to have to play at least one of the fortresses, probably both.
Beautiful P-Speed. He's cruising now, MaCobra.
Proa opting to use a cloud there. I think that's a pretty good decision on his part. And unfortunately, the hitbox for the Fire Brother did not take him out. So he did take some damage, but is given another cloud for his efforts.
Hammer Brother hitbox, or Fire Bro hitbox, my favorite.
Yeah, those and the Ludwigs and, some of those can actually get very terrifying. Proa, feeling the pressure, decides to go ahead and use a double cloud here in World 5, so he's going to be able to get onto the castle and World 5's airship as fast as he can. MaCobra having some tempo time jumps to get through 4-3, and with that, he is on to the next level. Alright, I was wondering if he was going to do this. I find this very interesting. So, MaCobra is taking a little bit of a risky gamble here. Because on the left-hand side of the screen, where the World 1 Fortress lock usually is in the vanilla game, there's a lock there. And then there's also a fortress down where 1-5 is that would prevent you from getting to the castle. So, if he doesn't play the fortress on the right, or if he does play the fortress on the right, we could say that it's possible he's not going to need it because it could break the one on the left. And now since he's played the World 2 panel,
I mean, he's got a fort in front of him that he has to play anyways, so there's really nothing lost from doing it the way that he's doing it.
The only concern I have with it is that if it does break the lock, you've played no extra levels. If it doesn't break the lock, and it breaks the one that's in front of the castle, then he is going to have to play the panel 2 anyway. So, I guess it's 6-1, half dozen the other.
Yeah. Makes the right decision.
Yeah,
you always want to play the forts that are on your direct routing path because there's no penalty if it doesn't break the lock.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and the way he's playing right now is just absolutely top level. I mean, he's making every right call. His routing has been perfect. I mean, there's really nothing you can say about MaCobra's race right now that's just anything less than absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. I do see what you're saying now. Wasn't quite picking up on you play the fort and it either breaks the lock that's in your way and you save a level, or it doesn't and then you have to play the same level anyways. So yeah, definitely either way.
In either way, I mean, it doesn't really matter. The only difference is whether or not you play level 2, and that only comes into effect if the lock in front of the castle breaks because of that fort. Otherwise, he would have had to gone back through the level 2 and played it. So really, it's just a 50-50 guess. If it was like a Fort Knox and you don't have a tail, yeah, that's going to take you a lot of time. And with 7F2 being the other fort, it's definitely possible that it was, or it could have been World 1 Fortress. And then you can immediately know where it's going.
Gulp. Going to explore a little bit before he commits to that stage.
Yeah, not the shortest stage in the books, that's for sure. And with Bowser being free on the last matchup, maybe he's thinking that he's got another free Bowser here. And minigame, we'll go ahead and throw this.
There's 2 locks right there, and that pipe leads to the front, so we know that that pipe is never going to be used again. 2 pipes here. Went across the hand level, so... Alright, so he can play both forts with no risk playing the other stage, so that's a good find for him.
I was curious to see if he'd go through for a door 3 skip. It looked like he didn't quite have the speed for it, so he's going to go ahead and do a door 5 item pickup, and then we'll go into door 6 to take on Boom Boom for the 137th time today. I might be off by a couple. I wasn't counting.
Close enough. I think you gotta play Super Tank here. Just play it. You never have to come back to this. Never have to come back to this screen. But also a good call just to check, because, I mean, you don't want to play an extra level.
I definitely agree with that. And with the Super Tank, that is a Super Tank. We've got the right icon matching up with the right level. And this very well could be the end of it. MaCobra is eyeing the last bridge that he has to build. And then he's going to be getting on through here and taking on the big lizard at the end. I guess it's not a lizard, is it? I guess it's a turtle.
Alright, let's see if this does it. Does this do it, or does he have to rummage around the dark room? And he has to rummage around the dark room.
Personally, I love to see it. I like extending it just a little bit longer here, you know, see what happens. There is a hand level directly below where he is now. He's mindful of that. Wants to see where this other pipe goes. Not necessary. He is going to have to go back over that hand level. Interestingly enough, Pro-A on his World 1, which is the Randomizer's World 7, he played the exact same way that MaCobra did. He saw a fort in his route, and he decided to go ahead.
MaCobra, just play the level, man. It's short. You speed run through it. It takes like 15 seconds. Just run through it, man. We know he's not in any danger, but he doesn't know that. He's probably thinking, this again? Really? He would have been done with it by now. Just run through it. I mean, it's leaving a window open. Small window, but... Alright, he gets it. He's gonna have to go back through it. 2, if I'm not mistaken.
MaCobra has had some very unfortunate luck with the hand levels before. We saw a little bit of that here today. With this being, I believe, the fortress that is going to be necessary, he should be able to get through here in just a couple minutes. We'll make the few pipe transitions to get back to where Bowser is. So looking like this is definitely becoming very quick. No hand grab there. So.
Does he have to play 8 fort? That is the question. I don't think he's played that yet. I think it's the last fort that he had.
If so, he is going to have to go back over a hand level a couple times. We could see what happens.
He does not, but he has to go across another hand. Look at his face. You can tell he is... Like, really? 2 years in a row?
It's
oh my gosh.
A little bit of a laugh of this. I think there's a part in the back of his mind that's thinking, anytime that done timer is going to finish for Pro-A, and that's the end of this.
I mean, if I'm him, I'm panicking right now. I'm going to need a new pair of shorts at this point. Like, you just got to play it. Just play it. You don't want a game over here.
No, I mean, he is getting very close to the wire at this point. If he gets grabbed again...
Alright, he gets through. I mean... If he has trouble with this, and somehow takes a death, he's going to have to go back across that hand stage, but gets the top clip. Nice. Look out, bro. I tried my clip, I think. Alright. Second try. This match was all MaCobra. About 45 seconds away, or less, 30 seconds away from finishing.
And with that, MaCobra has still not seen the done from Pro A. In just a few seconds, that is going to be the end of it, and we will get the final times for you as well.
Swag clip. Just for funsies. And MaCobra wins the third race with a time of roughly 34 minutes and 28 seconds. I don't have the official time yet.
The official time is a 34:24 from MaCobra, and then shortly afterwards, which we will see on stream here in just a moment, Pro A has forfeited from the race. That is the end of the best of three. With that, we are crowning MaCobra the champion. We have had virtually a concede in the background. Extraordinarily done for both of these runners, though. Just what a great group of races. It went down to 3, even down to the wire on the first one. And MaCobra is certainly stunned. In the chat in the background, he's talking about the mistakes that were made, how he was grabbed multiple times by the hands. And you could even tell as he was trying to get to the end with Bowser's Castle, just that feeling of panic of, why haven't I seen it done yet? When's the done coming? You're just expecting it to be right there. We have just marked off the runners' times and everything, so hopefully we can get at least one of them here with us for commentary. See what's going through their heads on very exciting races. Actually, I apologize about that. We won't have time for commentary's interview with MaCobra and Pro A. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for today. So we're going to have to jump off here real quick. But with that, DLP, what do you think, man?
I don't know. Like something else in our country, we're going to have to wait and retime it and see what happens. I know MaCobra got the win right now, but yeah, I think it's going to hold up. I mean, my match with Teeks, I'm pretty much going to say, like, you can beat me by a second. I'm just gonna accept it. I mean, it is what it is. But
we got just a couple minutes,
me.
And Pro A did jump into the comm booth with us. Pro A, hard fought match, great games all the way through.
I expected nothing less against MaCobra. I mean, for those of you who saw us square off last year, this was exactly what it was going to be, and regardless of how we retime, game one, that it was richly deserved by whoever is determined the winner. And I give my hats off to MaCobra. We even said in the chat, like, we push each other really to our absolute limits in Rando, and it was well. I hope it was well earned, and I know we both didn't play as sharply in game 3, but such as it is. But it was a real treat to do this.
Yeah, that first match, that was one of the best races I've ever seen. It went back and forth, and I mean, it was as close as you can possibly get. The third race of note, I know you were having a little bit of trouble. MaCobra got grabbed by the hands again, probably 7 or 8 times. Mm-hmm. So I know he was sweating there towards the end, but
yeah. I screwed up the hammer situation in World 2. I had the detonate 2. I died to Ludwig because I mistimed my jump and kind of threw my my usual setup. So that's just the way it goes sometimes, and such as it is. But what are you gonna do?
Yep. Do you have any other thoughts on the first or second seed? What were you thinking going into the first one in the Bowser's Castle, and you're about to hit done? And
I liked my chances in game one. I didn't think I might have made one or two minor routing errors, but otherwise I thought I was exactly on point throughout. Game two, that could have gone either way. I made a couple of gambles, and I wasn't surprised it was 16 seconds, because that was the kind of seed where it's pedal to the metal.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like it's win or lose, single elimination. You got to go for things that you're normally don't or you're not comfortable with. Damage boost, you got to claw and get any seconds that you can get to try to beat MaCobra. I mean, he's won, 3 or 4 tournaments, so right. I mean, you're played very, very well.
Yeah, and if we did this again tomorrow, it might be 2-1 the other way. So
exactly.
We went 7 last year. It was 4-3. We go 7 again. It could easily be 4-3 again, without question.
I also mentioned that you guys last year. How long did you end up playing for? I remember it being something like 4 hours or something like that.
Yeah, we played for 2 hours the Saturday before the finale, and then we played about 2.5 to 3 hours on Sunday. So yeah,
it's a lot of Mario 3.
It is. It's a grinder, But GG's to MaCobra, and if his result stands up, and I think it will, a hell of a win for him. Richly deserved.
Yep, but don't sell yourself short. Like I said, you played very, very well. Could have gone either way, like you said, and yeah, very, very entertaining show that you guys put on. So GG to you.
Well, thank you.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. So I got to go now to do another commentary, I think, with you, Growlwolf. So thanks again, everyone, and see you in SpeedGaming 6 if you want to see more. Well, I'll see. Well, this is later, but we'll see you all soon.
Alrighty. Have a good one.
All right.
Chat, if you're not doing so already, please give Proa and MaCobra a follow. They put on a heck of a show for you. Some free entertainment. Give them some support. Growlwolf, do you have any final thoughts?
No, that's it. Just really appreciate everybody being here today for SpeedGaming, for everybody behind the scenes. Really appreciate you being on Comms Booth with me. And until next time, keep randomizing and keep racing.
Yep, absolutely. GG's, everyone. Take it easy.